33 students. This is just a small sample, and they're from. I'll let them introduce who they are in just a second. But they're sixth graders, they're seventh graders, and they're eighth graders. And when we can maybe go right down the line, maybe kind of who you are and what cluster that you guys are part of, name, grade, and cluster. And then I'll ask you guys the first question, right? So.
I'm Gabby Brennan. I'm in 8th grade and I'm in blue cluster.
I'm Anna. I'm also in 8th grade and I'm in green.
I'm Sonia Farid. I'm in 8th grade and I'm in green.
I'm William McClellan. I'm in 8th grade. I'm in green cluster.
I'm Annabelle Brackett. I'm in 6th grade and I'm in line.
I'm Ava DiMatteo. I'm in 7th grade and I'm in RAS.
I'm Peyton Knight. I'm in 7th grade and I'm in RAS.
I'm Chase Watts. I'm in 6th grade and I'm from line.
I'm Will Zabriskie. I'm in 8th grade and I'm in blue cluster.
So as a maybe, just a disclaimer, I maybe told them that, I'm not sure if I told them there's 28 people here, so maybe 5, but alright, so we've been visiting these folks from really all across the country that I'm kind of getting to know today. And they've been visiting Barrington Middle School and looking, and had an opportunity to explain deeper learning to them. And those are with the opportunities of communicating, collaborating, critical thinking, all that fun stuff, and the projects that you guys have been involved in, and your teachers were just here talking about some of the projects as well. So perhaps maybe we can kind of go down the line, and you can maybe describe a project that you have been in this year or last year, and maybe the focus is what was that like for you as a learner? Does that sound like a good opening question?
Okay, so I did a mock trial, and I was a defense attorney during that, and it takes like a lot of work. Like I like kind of figured it would when I signed up for it, but I mean, like both my parents are lawyers, so I wanted to try it, and it was a lot of fun, and it's like really cool to do, but like you just have to like really put in the time because you kind of get like invested, so you want to make sure like you get like a good outcome, like you want to win and stuff like that. Yeah. But it also like helped a lot with my public speaking because like going in front of I did in front of my entire cluster, and you have to do like your opening, your closing statements, your questioning. It gets like a lot easier to talk in front of people once you have done that.
What was the trial that you were mocking?
It was a cyberbullying case. A student was suing the school and another person from the school.
It's a hypothetical case.
It wasn't real.
That close to home. Cool, awesome. And so how about you? What project?
Yeah, so in science this year we were doing a speed trap project. So basically we went out in front of our school and we were able to use what we've been learning, different formulas for speed to calculate the speed of cars going in front of our school. And using that data, it was really cool because we were able to actually calculate that a lot of the cars were speeding. And then from that, we wrote letters to different people from like our school council and the police chief, and we actually were in the Barrington Times. And the police chief actually sent a letter back to us, and he really wants us to focus on letting the next police chief know about the speed problems and sending our data in. So it was really cool because we were like using our data, and like it was like to see like our statistics like not only in the paper but like being used like for the police and stuff, and like to help like keep the neighborhood safe and like keep Barrington safe. So it's really cool.
One thing I did last year as a 7th grader was an immigration simulation. So we all like assumed a role of an immigrant coming from different places, and some people had the role of being like a judge or like a medical examiner, and we simulated going through Ellis Island. So I was an immigrant, and we had to like take on our role, and it kind of helped to like see the experiences someone might have had in like someone who's actually going through Ellis Island. So it kind of, instead of just reading about it or like looking at pictures, you really got to like feel how like they might have felt, or if people were being like discriminated against, or like how hard it was really if you didn't speak our language or if you had kids. So it was a good experience to see like how people might have actually felt rather than just like being told.
And Sonia, can you talk about, I believe you guys also had more of a current immigration kind of a person come in and speak to your cluster about? Can you talk a little bit about what that was like?
Yeah, so I don't exactly remember her name, but I remember one kid in our cluster, his dad knew a person who came into the country a couple years ago, I think, and so she told us her story, and she actually hid in a suitcase and like was brought into the country, and then one of the boys' dads helped her and then like gave her like a home and like resources to stay in the country too. So it was really interesting to see her experience and how it like might have differed from those who came in through Ellis Island and like today, and how they were similar and different.
And I think she came from Syria, right?
Yeah.
Across the.
So in math class this year, we did a project about the rising cost of a college education, and we were learning about scatter plots and line of best fit. So we were able to calculate using data points from college prices for the last few years, since 2000, I believe. We were able to estimate the cost of going to college for us in 2023. So it's really cool to get an early look at the college admissions kind of process, and I guess getting ready to start saving up.
Scholarship.
So just recently in LA, we were doing this project called the Hero Project, and it was basically so you identify a problem or like a conflict that's going on in your community or like in a place near you. It's like a small problem because you as a kid have to be able to like tackle it and work towards solving it or making it better, but like you're actually doing it, not having other people, like not raising money or something like that, like coming up with a creative solution. My conflict was that homeless people don't get enough like fresh fruits and vegetables and things like that, or really any at all. And I came up with a solution that my grandfather has a huge garden, like basically like a grocery store, and I had a solution that I could grow some vegetables there, and like week by week I could like wash them, bag them, and give them to homeless shelters so that they can give them to homeless people. And then we did online reporting of that, and we made a presentation, and I think that definitely helped me kind of learn more about problems around us and like ways we can solve them, and it also taught me about like how I can present like the things I worked on, which is definitely really helpful.
So this year in RAS, we did a project called RAS Giving, and it was where we kind of prepared for a couple months. So a class of 4th graders came in, and we spent the day with them. So we had lunch with them, we did crafts with them, and they were from like a less fortunate community. So I think as like a cluster, we really realized that, you know, we're not the only people. There are some people who maybe they don't get as many Christmas presents. So we used our time and we made them all little gifts that they could buy with fake money to give to their family. We wrapped them up. We made them hats and scarves, and I think it really helped us with like our connections and how like we can connect with other people who may not be the same age or the same gender or may go to the same school, but how we're all connected in some way.
Did your teachers talk to you about what you're planning on later on in May?
Oh,
For the year?
I think they might come back, maybe?
Yeah. Alright, so I won't say
I
too
don't
much.
know.
Oops.
Blowing up the spot, Dr. Anderson.
Alright, next.
In RAS, we also did this thing at the end of 6th grade called Business America. And what it was is you had to come up with an idea that you think that a lot of kids in your grade would want. And once you come up with that idea, you had like 4 months or something to make 40 of those products. I ended up doing a rain shaker, but the catch was that you had to use all recycled materials. You couldn't use just like any old thing. So we went to the recycling center, and you got to pick out a bunch of things, and then you had to go and like present them, and parents would walk around too, and everybody had like a certain set amount of money. I think it was like $200 fake, and you'd go around and you would buy things, and you had to like present to all the people coming around, and then you'd have to hopefully sell all your products, and then you got to calculate at the end how much you made, and
That's cool.
In English language arts, we were also doing the Hero Project, and it was pretty cool because like we were able to think of our own problems and then find a solution for that. And so for my problem, I did bullying because it's going on all throughout the world, then it just needs to stop. And my solution for that was an anti-bullying group, because I figured that if there was a group for everybody to interact who was being bullied together, then they could find a way to prevent bullying. So that was mine.
Yeah. So at the end of the 8th grade day, we have this period called FAST. It's like this. Our teachers came up with different projects. So last trimester we had this thing called Blueprint, which is where each student would come up with like this extended learning subject that they wanted to continue or like find more of it out. So then I did it with a couple of my other friends, and we did our project was like cooking. We did a cooking project, and we cooked like different meals throughout like the whole world. So we did different cultures. So we made like each week we would come up with who was doing each course, what country we were doing, and then like we would on the weekends we would go out and we would buy our ingredients, and then we would go to one person's house and then we would cook them, like cook the meals. Then the whole point of it was like learning a different culture and how meals and food changes throughout the whole world, and it was really cool just to see like everybody's experience with cooking, and then also the different types of food around the world.
Mr. Chef.
Do you have a question for them? Like they can ask them if you want to ask them a question.
Yeah, I guess my question to you would be, I guess like, what are the things that are most exciting for you about this work? And on the flip side of it, like, what are the things that are most frustrating or challenging for you about engaging in these kinds of projects?
It can be anyone.
And anyone,
We don't have to go down the line.
I guess something that would be kind of, fun, would be just the fact that we get to explore things that maybe aren't just on paper, things that you have to use your hands with, things that you really have to problem solve or you have to work around. But the tough part about it is that you do have to work around things. It's just not handed to you. You have to figure it out. Nobody's going to come around and tell you this is how you fix your problem. You have to decide, okay, what is my best way that I can get through this? How can I collaborate with my peers and try to get over this obstacle to try to reach my goal?
Yeah, kind of adding on to that, I think something that might be kind of frustrating almost is that it's not always something you've been taught and like you had quizzes on, so like you know the material very well. Something that you kind of have to figure out as you go along by like problem solving and thinking creatively and working together to kind of like overcome any obstacles.
I agree with them. It's nice to be able to dive into a subject deeper that you're personally interested in and put your own spin on it instead of, like, I moved to Barrington 2 years ago, and before I moved here, it was all just paperwork, boring. It was drill and kill, but when we moved here, it was great because I got to put my own spin on learning and do a lot of things. And the only problem with that is because of my inexperience from getting a late start on this, it's sometimes challenging for me to step outside of my comfort zone like that. But I feel empowered with this school to do that and enhance my learning with that.
I think that like going into the mock trial, because both my parents are lawyers and like my dad would come home from court, like I would like ask him like how it went, like what his like trial was about or anything like that. So it kind of like I had interest in that, like I wanted to do that too and like see what that was like from like my own perspective. And it was really cool to like be a part of that. But it is like I didn't realize like it's like a lot of work you have to put in, like a lot of time, and even like outside of school, depending on what you got done during your time during the day, you would have to work outside of school. But I don't think like it wasn't like a bad thing because like, we all got so like excited about it and so like invested that we wanted to have it be like the best that we could be. So it was kind of that part was kind of like bittersweet.
One thing for us so one of my friends in our group, his name is Alex, and he didn't have as much experience like actually cooking than the rest of us. So like one challenging thing was actually helping him through different challenges he faced. So like he had a challenge in like cutting something like some celery. So then we would like some of us would have to go in and help him and try to like help him like figure through the problems, and that was like really cool because we got to work with our peers.
Can I ask a follow-up question?
Sure.
So how do you guys handle like conflicts since you're doing group work? Like you were mentioning, you noticed one of your group members needed help with things, but do you ever like come head to head with another member of your group where you disagree on something, and do you like have a process that you go through to try to come to the end to, you know, still finish it?
I actually think that these like deeper learning projects have definitely helped me, and I'm sure many other students, with group work, because it kind of like the teachers are kind of stepping away, and it's up to you to like figure out how to handle it, and it's like taught us ways that we can overcome problems if we're not getting along with someone or something by like kind of taking a different look on it. And
Yeah, maybe like a compromise, or like you figure out, okay, what's something that can meet both of our needs, that can still get the problem done. Maybe stepping away from the project for a couple of days, coming back, seeing if you have any new ideas.
Yeah, these projects definitely give us more experience about like working through problems with one another without like a teacher or something like stepping in. They gave us a lot of like independence, which was cool.
Yeah, I agree with that, but I think that also like in like the courtroom, I guess there's like certain things you have to do. So there's like a right way to do it and like a wrong way. So when certain people would like do something wrong, it's like frustrating because like I'd never done it before, but like it's you have like 8 weeks to do this. So like the first like 4 weeks we spent just like learning everything, like all of the terminology, like the courtroom procedures, all things like that. So I mean, it can be like kind of frustrating when like someone like isn't doing something right, so then you have to like completely go back and like fix all of that in like a short amount of time. But it does teach you how to like compromise like really well because you are on your own with like projects like these.
And I think work a lot with like this same person because like a lot of the projects you get to pick your own like partner. And me and him, what we always do is it's always but like if it's a blueprint or something, we draw out the blueprint and then we like have to try to present it to the other one, and then we just try to present it, and once somebody like sees how like that one's like better than what they came up with, then we usually switch there. But if we really can't do it, then we'll just like push them together.
Yeah, and I think a lot of the reason there can be like some conflict or something is because unlike some I didn't always go to Barrington. I'm actually new this year, but unlike other group projects that I've done like previously at like other schools I've gone to is like the thing with the deeper learning projects is that everyone is involved. It's not like always like that one group leader and then everyone's kind of giving like 10%, 20%. It's like everyone's giving 100%. So there can be times where people are like getting frustrated because they're like, I'm really like dedicated to this, and like everyone is dedicated. Because of that, also it's very easy to resolve the conflicts because everyone's like, I really want this to be like showing our best work and showing like how we collaborated and worked together to make things.
I totally agree with Anna. It's not, when we do these projects together, it's not a bunch of individuals against each other. It's everybody's like a unit. We're all working on the same team towards our goal of 100.
I'm thinking that some of the success, probably in that same respect too, is you have roles within your group. Who identifies the roles?
We did a project in social studies. It was a Roman mural project. So we painted out big murals based on the topics that we were learning in our unit. So Anna was in my group actually, so she can add on too. But our group was the fall of Rome. So we made like this whole like sheet that we planned out everything we were gonna do, and we had group roles. So Mr. D'Alessio, our teacher, told us which role was like which. So there were like artisans, which were like more painters, or like people were gonna draw, like fact finders, like a bunch of other roles too. So we kind of chose the roles ourselves, but Mr. D'Alessio like kind of showed us what roles we should have, and then we kind of like found which ones we think we fit best in.
Based on your interest or strengths?
Yeah, that was the really cool thing also because they had like So like I don't personally consider myself someone who's like super like great at drawing, but like I've learned to like really develop that also. But there was some girls in my group who like they love to draw, and like that's what they really enjoyed doing. And that is like, so that was something great because you can always contribute like using your interests, so it's never boring because you can always find something you're interested in that will help like move the group along.
So our project, it was 8 weeks long, so we had to visit different countries through like our cooking experience. But we did 5 courses, like a appetizer, soup, like entree, and dessert. So we had to find like a role for each of our group members. So we actually made a chart, so where everybody got to experience a different part of the cooking. So as we went through our different countries, everybody got a turn at like cooking the dessert or cooking the entree. So then, because there's so many different things that are involved with the soup or with the dessert, and it's like all different. So we wanted to give everybody a different experience. So we like created an actual chart to make sure everybody got to do like awesome.
That's great.
You all are incredibly inspiring and give
Yeah.
me great hope for the future.
Yeah.
Any parting words, any last words of wisdom? You have a group of about 30 people in front of you that are either superintendents, principals, teachers, people who run school systems. Anything you'd want to toss out to them as words of wisdom or advice from you as they go back to their places?
Well, okay, so before I moved to Barrington, because I've only been here for like 4 years or so, the school that I went to, like, we had like nothing like this. And like William said, it's like, it can be like really boring, like you're just like doing like papers, and it's just like not inspiring. Like doing something like this, it has you like really creative, it has you like thinking, and like you want to go to that class so that you can work on this, because like it becomes this like big goal, and then everyone works together to achieve this one goal. So I think that it's like a really cool thing to have like projects like these in other schools, so that like other people can experience this too.
Yeah, and to add on to Gabby, I really feel like it's also like the process that helps, because it's like based on like your planning, and then 2 is like you're coming up with all these different ideas, you're bouncing around with your group members. It's like this process that kind of leads up with like all this energy and anticipation to like your final project or like product. So you put all of your energy into it, all of your passion, all of your hard work, and most of the time it comes out really well, and so that's when everybody's happy.
Yeah.
It's really cool to like finally actually do a project you're like interested in, that's one of your passions, and to actually do it with people that share that and that you enjoy working with, which can also just help you get things done more efficiently, is when you're actually working on the project with the people instead of butting heads with them and dealing with that conflict instead of actually getting work done.
I would say if you're going to do any of these projects, I would let the kids pick their partners, because that always helps a bunch. Because you don't really want to be partnered with someone you don't really know or you haven't really met, because then like it's like you have to learn, or like you have to, I don't know, like introduce yourselves, and that can take it away from the project. Whereas if you're with someone you really know, that can like help, and you can like do a lot better work.
And I think with these projects, applying the knowledge that you've learned to make it fun is definitely important. Like, you could work together as a group to create a slideshow, or you could do that slideshow and then apply all that like knowledge that you gained to maybe like creating a model building out of like craft sticks or something that makes like the knowledge stick because it was fun.
Yeah, kind of adding on, like doing the projects not only teaches you about like the material you need to know for each class, but it also like puts a spin that teaches you about like compromise and leadership and like presenting skills, and like so much more that you could use not only in school but out of school.
And I think the other thing is like the textbook is important, but you have to like know sometimes like to put the textbook away, and like because there's only so much you can learn from what's written down. Like it's really important to just go out and do just go out and do something, like whether that would be like we did like measuring the speeds of cars, or like doing something better, like to better your community or something. But just like there's a point where like there's only so much you can learn from the textbook or like the writing.
Yeah, and like Sonia said, it helps so much with your like presenting skills, because with like projects like these, like there's going to be like a final project that you have to. I know that we've all had to present this in front of either your peers or your teachers or something like that, and it helps like a lot, especially if it's a project that you want to be doing and that like you're proud that you did. So it makes you like put in more effort, which is like really helpful because then in like situations like these, like you're not as like scared.
That seems like a great place to end. Thank you all so much.